Hello. Today's discussion will be upon ghosts, about ghosts. What do you think about that, Michael?
I think that's a great idea because we are here at Freetown State Forest, which is within the Bridgewater Triangle
Yeah.
in Massachusetts, where there are many stories of the paranormal and ghosts and all other sorts of things.
Today we'll just talk about ghosts. Ghosts is God's reminder that it's not about the physical, but the spiritual that we live our lives.
Hmm.
And they come in many forms and good, bad, and indifferent ghosts.
Yes.
Yes.
Uncle Steve and I, in around the year 2013, we had our own ghost experience here. It was not in this area right here. It was actually just down there across this parking lot. There's another area where there's no picnic tables now, but there usually are. They're under construction right now. But when we were sitting down there in 2013, we were sitting just like this, and we're talking about ghosts. And once we got done talking about ghosts, you were talking about it in a very respectful way. I was
Yes.
being kind of silly about like
Yes.
ooh and making fun of it.
Yes.
And then afterwards, we looked all the way down to where the woods were, and this huge, about the size of a basketball, this round, see-through yellow ball comes through. It looked like a whole bunch of pollen just comes out of the woods. This big yellow ball comes out, goes around a tree, keeps coming to us, came right above me, and then just dissipated and it went away.
It did 90-degree angles and up and down movements, so it looked like it had an intelligence to it.
Definitely, and it held together the whole
Definitely,
time.
it held together the whole time until it poured upon you. So maybe it was, and you do have some Indian background.
I have a little Native American in me from my mother's side. Yeah,
Yes, yes. So
yeah.
maybe they were trying to welcome you to the crowd.
There's a Native American, uh, you know, spirituality all through this property.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
the
Uh,
Iroquois, the Wampanoags,
King Philip,
yeah, King Philip.
King Philip,
They took his head.
and put it on a pike and stood in front of a fort.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's get into what kind of ghosts do you think there are, Michael?
Well, I know there's a friend of mine. His name is Omar Cruz. What happened? I know that this guy bought a piece of property in Taunton, which is also part of the Bridgewater Triangle, Taunton, right?
Right,
And what happens is he bought the piece of property for the reason so that he could gut it out and get some money on it, right?
right.
But when he bought the property, there's some squatters in there, some
Mm-hmm.
crackheads. So he's like, geez, what do you do about this? Because Massachusetts has laws where you can't kick them out
Yeah,
right away.
yeah.
So, anyways, he goes around to the backyard. I'm with him, and we're talking to the next door neighbor. A very nice guy. He said he was even giving electricity to these people because
Yeah,
they're squatting
yeah.
in there. Anyways, we're talking to the neighbor, and the neighbor just tells us, he says, "Hey, listen, you have a history to this house, and in the house there were three deaths. The first
Okay.
one was the owner. He died of a heart attack in the house.
Wow.
Right afterwards, two gay men went in there. They had like a whole bunch of fire fire truck collectibles all over the place in the garage and everything. One of the gay men went into the garage and pulled a trigger into his own head and killed himself in the garage. Right after that, another guy moves in there. He hangs himself in the garage. So then you have
Mm-hmm.
three dead bodies. You got
Okay.
squatters in the house.
Yeah.
And it just seemed as if
Past the chance of coincidence.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so we think there's something ghostly about this.
There could be a lot of negative energy in some
A
areas
lot
where
of
you just gotta
negative.
let it go. Yeah, it could be
Yes.
Native American
Yeah.
past. It could be ghosts of any other
Of
sorts
any
there.
other sort.
Yeah, yeah, a bad juju.
We will give a shot at the end of where the actual occurrence, the actual incident occurred. But right now
The ghost that we
yes,
saw?
the
Yeah,
ghost that we saw.
we'll show you where it was.
We'll show you where it was.
Yeah,
Proximity thereof.
yeah.
It changed a little bit. Now, how about ghosts that get into your mind, Michael?
Right. Yeah. Like ghosts that get into people's minds, gives them thoughts.
Give them thoughts,
Yeah.
positive or negative energy.
Yes.
Tell them things and nobody else can hear it.
Yes.
Yes, and you,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All that's definitely real.
it's
Yeah.
all real.
Yeah.
And it seems to be interconnected with other strange or weird happenings and occurrences. So ghosts are just part of the equation, which we know little of, but
Yeah.
we're reminded that we're on this earth for a little time.
Yeah. So right here in the Bridgewater Triangle was a lot of ghosts. They had a lot of ghost sightings over here.
Right.
A lot of it they say are due to satanic rituals that have happened out here. Mafia bodies being found, or yeah, other things like that.
The Indian heritage, they have a tribe out here as well. And
Right.
they live within the woods.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of things relating to ghosts.
Yes. I mean, there's a lot of other ghost stories I could definitely tell for sure. There's a friend of mine. His name is Joel Pelkey. One time, him and I we were laying down on two separate couches playing a Super Nintendo in Maine, and in the attic we could just hear footsteps creak, 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 creak. We're sitting there, we're playing the game, everything's fine, it's all quiet, no one's in the attic. Can't even get in the attic because the door is locked. The only other people there were Shannon and Russell, and yeah, that's what Joel and I heard, and I know because we both looked at each other and we talked about it after the fact, and we had goosebumps when it happened as well. So I already know from that experience that those things are definitely real. Um, my father had an experience that he told me about where he was my father was in the Navy. He came back to where we were living at the time in Virginia. He comes back home. He's in bed with my mother. Late at night, he wakes up. He looks at the foot of the bed at nighttime when it's all dark, and he sees the silhouette of a man with a cowboy hat. So he gets up and he starts punching at it and everything, and his hands go through it. And he's like, "What's going on?" He steps back, and he sees that it's Grandpa. Grandpa with his hat.
Yeah.
And then he smiled and like
Texas
dissipated.
hat, which he got from going down to Texas one time. Wow. When I got married down there a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
And yes,
That's the hat, huh?
that's the Texas hat that he was proud of because he went down to Texas and
That's what I saw, yeah.
made friends with the in-laws.
Yeah, your in-laws.
Yeah, my in-laws at the time.
Yeah. Let's see. I know of another time where I was hanging out with this girl. Her name was Gail Barlow. Her and I were in Plymouth, and we were using her phone at a pond. It wasn't a complete full moon, but the moon was pretty full. And we're looking at the moon, and she's trying to get a good picture of it. And as she's trying to get a picture of it, not with the naked eye, but through the phone alone, we could see a small like about a handful size of an orb, see through an orb.
Yeah.
You can see going over the water. This one going
Yeah.
over back and forth, and it went up. It went up the trees, and it came back down, and it went back and forth. You see this one orb through the phone the entire time. She took a few pictures. I know she still has them. And then yeah, we were just in awe of it.
Yeah.
It was kind of nerve-wracking to see what I was seeing. Yeah, and then without the phone, you're looking around, nothing. Look through the phone, there it is. It's still moving.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ghosts in water have connection. Some say that ghosts can't carry over water. Then you have your lake ghosts, which travel only on water.
Right.
So there's many various types and many various definitions, but they are real, and that's the way it is.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot to it. Huh? I mean, there's a lot of old history. I mean, think about it. The whole world, every continent you've ever been, history has ever touched, they all come to the conclusion that every tribe, every historian is saying, okay, somewhere along the line, everyone believed in the afterlife, everyone believed in ghosts, there's a reincarnation after the fact even.
Yeah, there's two things I want to mention. One is Abraham Lincoln's ghost, which has been seen in the West Wing of the White House whenever the United States has been in trouble.
Right.
That people have seen his ghost walking back and forth the way he used to do during the Civil War.
Oh yeah.
And the other thing was, I forgot.
What?
That was ghosts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean.
Wars.
Yeah.
Wars, areas where battles have been fought. You have your stationary ghosts and your moving ghosts reenacting what happened while they were alive and how they died, battle,
Yeah.
and so forth. And it's a pattern of it. You can break it down and investigate it at a normal average, but we've happened to see those ghosts, so we know they're real.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
is there anything else on the issue, or you want to show them the site, Michael?
I mean, I know there's something else in Ghost that I know about. I'm just trying to think about what it is.
Okay.
Yeah. But
we'll give a moment.
give me a moment. A little slow.
To all the ghosts out there.
To all the ghosts out there.
Friendly, hopefully.
Friendly ghosts, yeah. But then like the ancient Egyptians, the Greeks, they all went about it about the afterlife.
Yeah.
The meaning of life afterwards.
Right.
What people coming back from it.
We are just spirits on this world and encased in bodies, so that we can interact with this world. Because everything here is physical.
Right.
But we can't forget what it's really about. We are actually spirits. And we will account for everything we do on this world. Good, bad, and indifferent.
Yes, I can't recall the name now, but I was watching a podcast where this lady, she's a professional scientist, and she was talking about, and there's a lot of research on this in other areas, but basically, like, if you want to talk about ghosts or supernatural entities, is that the father figures of the rocket programs that got us to the moon, that got us in outer space, from Russia, Nazi Germany, America, the only three countries that were doing it at the time, that a lot of those scientists, what they would do is, and they didn't know of each other, but they were doing the same things, where they would take their LSD or the mushrooms or whatever it was. They would take the marijuana or a combination of all. They're going out in the woods, or they're going to the desert.
Or eat nature.
Elon Hubbard was a part of these guys, so they would all do it, and they all believed, and like they were getting this feedback from non-human entities. These guys believed in it. These geniuses. Then they would go back to the labs. They believe they came up with this new theorem or whatever it is they're coming up with. And they gave credit to those experiences that they had with these non-human entities on
a lot
on
of
these
interaction
psychedelics.
and insight given to us from something other than what we are familiar with, human contact.
Right.
Okay. Very good.
And then not only that, another thing to go upon that is that when Wicca was first brought upon in England, a lot of the witches and Wiccas, they got together one day in England during the time of World War II or just before, and they got a fire going. They were doing their psychedelics or whatever they were doing. They started doing their chants, and they started putting spells on Nazi Germany for Adolf Hitler. While in the meantime, Adolf Hitler and his guys, they're all Satanists themselves.
Yes.
Right? Because they already had their temples where they did dark magics they believed in. The Nazis actually had the spear of destiny, which was the spear that stabbed Jesus, which had the blood of Christ.
Right.
And they believed that anyone who had that could win all wars.
The Nazis believed in ghosts to the point that they searched the entire world with their scientists, looking for anything and everything religious which may have power. And they found, stole, and brought back to Berlin any artifacts they could have of a holy or religious value, so that they could try to put it under their own control for the use of evil
Wow.
that was in the Nazi Empire.
Wow.
Yes, so it's deep.
Which is good. Why in America we have the freedom of religion
Oh,
and all that, you know,
yes.
freedom. That's good
Yes.
stuff. Yeah. So that's why it's God's country.
Yes,
Yeah.
God's country.
Yeah. And then Jesus, even in Jesus, he talks about coming back to life, and so there's
Yes.
reincarnation
Yes.
there. He talks about,
Oh,
and then ghosts of if you're seeing Jesus somehow, people see Jesus, that's a ghost.
reincarnation is real, Michael. I've talked to holy angels, and they told me I was reincarnated, and I didn't query past that point because whatever they want to tell me is fine, and I don't question these thoughts.
So you're born on Friday the 13th.
Born on Friday the 13th.
I'm born on Halloween.
Halloween.
My nephew.
13 and
my
31.
Yeah, so you're the 13th. I'm the 31st. 31st is the
Yes.
reverse of the 13th. And then we have a nephew. My nephew, your great nephew, Vito. He is
Right.
December 31st. So he's New Year's Eve.
31.
He's 31. The
Yeah.
first of 13. So 13 is like a number of the paranormal, right?
Yes.
Reversed or it stayed the same.
Yes. And you can touch a little bit on the photos of Jesus Christ being crucified and a picture of a UFO up in the stars too.
Yeah.
I just want to touch that. That's a different subject.
On how UFOs.
But it's all interrelated. The monsters, the supernatural, ghosts, UFOs. It's all one field.
Can aliens be so above us that by the time they get here, they're, hey, listen, we already know about ghosts from our planet, so we know how to resurrect shit here too.
Yes.
Can aliens be that fucking
raising
badass?
of the dead.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
They can be that bad. Be like, we can raise the dead and use science at the same time.
And use science.
Yeah.
If it can't be explained, we call it science. If it can't, we call it guesswork.
So there's some ways that ghost hunters go about finding ghosts. So they find the orb. So when Gail and I saw that orb on the cell phone, so now I understand why when ghost hunters go out there, they use the microphones and the cameras and everything because you need that extra science to get there.
I want to say that not all ghosts are good.
Right.
But not all ghosts are evil either.
True.
So it's good, bad, and indifferent, just like there is with us. And it's a lot to it. A lot more than just black and white. There's a whole lot of gray out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And then so ghosts are definitely real. I'm a believer in ghosts.
Yeah.
But I'm also a believer in fake superstition too. That's also real, right?
Yeah.
So people are like, oh, well, if you believe in ghosts, then that means you believe. No, that's not true.
No, right.
We also know that there's bullshit.
Yeah.
There's fake. There's people that think they saw something, but it really wasn't.
Right.
And then there's the actual ghost that you've seen, and you tell someone and no one believes you because you're the only one that saw it. Or maybe like in our situation, like we both saw what we saw.
Yes, like Project Blue Book. After you eliminate everything else and every other questionable possibility, what you have is a main part, which is there, which is real, absolutely real.
Right.
But we just can't prove it, so we rather say it don't exist.
Right. It's easier just to dismiss it.
It's easier to dismiss it.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Well, I'm a snob. I don't believe in that, huh? Not me.
Okay.
I don't want to be lower class.
Okay.
You know how some people think. You know what I mean? Like, oh, the no ghosts aren't real. And I respect that opinion, but it's limited.
Right.
To my opinion.
Yes.
You know.
Very good. I think we've touched the bases of everything here.
I mean, again, there's a lot of ghost stories that have happened that are available online that happened in the Bridgewater Triangle here in Freetown State Forest where we're at.
State Forest.
But again, like you said with the Blue Book,
yes.
Out of 100% of the stories, probably 80% of it is trash. And then the other 20, 10, 5%, you got some truth going on, and it gets deep, and then they know what that is, and they just keep it to themselves.
Yes. Pretty much you don't share stories like that. But when you get a few people together in a comfortable surrounding, they like to discuss it.
Yeah.
because they want to know what's on the other side, how's it connect, and what's it mean. They want to explain it as best they can, and it's not for us to know everything. It's for us to know enough that we don't make problems,
Right.
that we live in harmony and peace and
Yeah.
love on this planet like we were
Yeah.
meant to do. And ghosts will take care of themselves. They're all under God.
Yeah. And I've tried all these things out under Uncle Steve's. You told me not to. Don't do Ouija boards. Don't do tarot cards.
Yes.
Don't do all. I did all those things a whole bunch of times, and there's just some reality to a lot of these things. You know, it's not, but it's just like the weather. Remember Hurricane Henry, the weatherman with all the signs told you it was coming. Nothing happened. So, you know, I mean, it's the same thing with magic and ghosts and everything else. Sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't. You know, sometimes you think it's going to happen, sometimes, and then when it does, it's when you least expect it.
And we can touch a little bit on magic. Magic is real. It's back to the time of Moses. And the Egyptians all knew what magic were back then.
The Egyptians, yeah, very
The
intelligent.
Egyptians all knew. They were on the high court of the advisor of the pharaohs.
Yeah.
And they could do anything that Moses could come up with until the end, until God proved himself absolute supreme being.
Yeah.
And in charge of, because who did they learn it from? They learned it from God.
Yeah.
Because God was doing his research, finding out where his people were going to go.
Yeah.
Who was going to be their masters because they misbehaved. And who was going to be the slaves for how long. And all his plan.
Yeah.
It all interconnects in the end.
Wow. It does. It all comes full round circle, doesn't it?
Whole
Every
circle.
single time.
It's not straight lines, it's circles.
Yeah.
Circling globes.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I'm all set.
Okay, if we can pause here, and then we'll show you the area where the incident occurred, so you can get a little bit better understanding of what happened.
I'll pause the movie now. I'm sorry, the podcast, and then we will. We don't edit it. We just leave all our mistakes here. That way you can understand we're human
Right.
too. We're
Yeah.
human. We make mistakes. Everybody does. It's okay.
Everybody does.
So we're gonna take you down there, and we're gonna show you exactly where we saw the ghosts. So I put you on pause. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for listening. Here we are on location where we saw the ghost or spirit. Or
Yes. It was right behind us down right here. So all the way down past this.
where those two trees are over there, the big tree on the right and the small skinny tree on the left.
Yep.
There was a picnic table back there.
Yep.
And it went up from the ground, around the picnic table at 90-degree angles. It came all the way up here, about where we're standing, a little bit to my right here.
Yeah.
My right here. There was another picnic table, and this area had picnic tables around it. Went right over Michael and dispersed.
Dispersed over me.
And that was it.
Yeah, it was a fun experience.
Yes.
Glad it happened.
Yes.
And
it was physical proof of some type of intelligence.
Yeah, for sure.
It was not nothing that can be explained outside of an intelligent presence.
Yeah.
Of some type or form.
Yeah. Freetown State Forest is definitely haunted. Thank you, Uncle Steve.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for listening.
Have a good day.
Have a good day.